Just for clarity, no poem this time. I recorded, scripted, and edited all of this while having COVID, and I just lost my job today, and this is how I took my frustrations out in the world. Said, fuck it, I'm gonna be lazy. We're gonna talk about lazy motherfucker. Let's go. Fat Mike, vocalist for the band NOFX, well known for his comedic and political lyrics.
We all know George Bush is an imbecile. He loves, but he hates homosexuals. We're sick and tired of the embarrassment. The whole world wants us to get a better president.
What Fat Mike is most known for, however, is his ability to make other people feel as if they're part of a community. At least he did, but we'll get to that. I could go at length about some of Fat Mike's greatest works, from Short Music for Short People, an album that's in my top 3 favorite collaboration albums ever, to War on Airism, to Fat Mike creating a place for punks out there. Unless you're gay. If you're gay, and you're a woman, he sexualizes the hell out of you. And if you're gay and a man, he has some pretty weird lyrics about that too. If you're trans, just see the song My Vagina. That one's pretty gross. Usually the point of this type of video is to express the positives and negatives of an artist, and usually to scale. Fat Mike is unique. You see, Fat Mike is a creator of punk rock music and decided to make a musical. But before I even begin to explain issues with Fat Mike, I just need to express that Fat Mike is a weird old man who has a history of masking himself inside these smaller communities. He seeks money. His album Wolves in Wolves' Clothing is specifically written with laughing your way to the bank all over it. 60% in its reprise are about how they only need to give 60% to be successful. Wolves in Wolves' Clothing was really the decline of their music, pun intended for those of you out there that get that. After being seen in the music world as punk juggernauts of the early 2000s and 1990s, they released Coaster. Coaster is well known for, being a trashy album with the song Creeping Out Sarah. Tegan and Sarah are both lesbian identical twin sisters. I'm just going to throw some of the lyrics on screen for you to read and admire. I've highlighted the worst ones for you. Later, Fat Mike would get mad at Hayley Williams for being the millionth person to point out that Fat Mike isn't good for the gay community.
I'm queer, motherfuckers, and we have been flying a gay flag for the past 20 years. Like, who the fuck thinks that NOFX is homophobic?
Okay, so the question is, how do I assume you're asking me, mostly because I'm Sarah, but there's a song called Creeping Out Sarah that a band NOFX wrote, and the song, on a surface level, I found it kind of offensive because the implication was that Tegan and I are incestuous, which I find deeply, deeply horrifying and disrespectful, but the truth is that the conversation that he's describing in the song actually happened. He did creep me out, and he and I had a long conversation backstage at a festival in Germany, and not totally a consensual conversation. He kind of came up to me at an internet cafe at the backstage at a festival, and I was with a friend, and we were doing email or whatever, and he just told us all about his, he told us all about himself, and mostly it had to do with sex, and involved his interest in the BDSM community and having a sex dungeon, and yeah. Said sex dungeon. Just me, just hanging out, just doing my emails in Germany, and just had to listen to him talk while also swigging from a red wine bottle. But anyway, it was cute. You know, it was cute. I always like that. But I mean, the song is truthful. How do I feel about? I mean, I think it's, I think he's offensive, but he's also he's Fat Mike. That's how he is. That's sort of his MO. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I didn't want to fight him or anything. I mean, I think he understood that we didn't totally love the track.
Afterwards, we did talk. I talked with him a little bit. He was still on tour, and when it came out, and everybody was like being like, "No, effects. This is Tegan and Sarah." He was horrified, and he and I talked on the phone quite a bit, and then he released a statement. He's like, "We love you guys. We're huge fans. The whole sentiment of the song is supposed to be making fun of me myself. Like, I'm disgusting. I'm gross." And we talked a lot about the fact that people, of course, were going to miss that point and instead focus on the incest part and the dildo part and the gay part and all the rest of it. And he wrote a statement, so. I used to listen to NOFX, so it was really hard for me because I was like, NOFX, well, not anymore.
I told her I was a big fan of her band. She asked me if I had a favorite song. I admitted that I never actually heard them, but I like Katie Lang.
In the same interview, he agrees with the guy who is now known mainly for mocking trans people, so that's, good job, Mike. Good job, buddy. You did good.
I'm with Ricky Gervais. You can't bring up something someone said 15, 20 years ago.
Fat Mike would actually have you believe that he's actually positive for the gay community. He'd have you believe that he specifically desires to do more to see the gay community grow and prosper, to see it do well. Fat Mike fetishizes the gay community As you saw in that clip, Fat Mike's had a history of making everything about sex all the time, to the point of regret.
2 dominatrixes on my arm? How do you explain that to a 4-year-old?
Now, it's really easy to basically showcase that Fat Mike is an awful person that is really easy to take pot shots at, but we need to talk about his musical. Normally, when a musical writer makes a musical, it's because they have a respect for musicals.
The problem with most musicals is that there aren't that many good songs. So we set out to write a musical where there's no bad songs.
Fat Mike is very well known for his ability to accept criticism from other people.
Just have her jacking off. Does a girl...
It is.
I think it's funny for a girl
Okay, change it. Change it. I spend the whole day jacking off.
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Put it in. Fuck you guys. I didn't want to give up anything because I don't co-write NOFX songs. I write everything. And that was a weird bridge for me to cross.
You kind of have to throw your ego out the door, and it's really good to have people tell you that it's not good enough and push you.
Get to the negative shit.
Anymore? Yes. Yeah, it just didn't really sell it to me like that. It could be a realistic possible situation for every kid's a whore, like really
and the
messed
whole
up.
mama thing was kind of weird.
That was weird too, you know.
Did you say it wasn't realistic to have a street mom?
Yeah, I mean.
Have you lived that life?
Really? Because I was a street mom. Not to get aggressive or anything.
So you didn't think this was realistic?
No.
How come?
I don't know. Just the spots I was in, we were never. There was not much prostitution, and like it was just a little more like.
Well, you haven't been in the sex industry. She is from the sex industry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I haven't done that.
And I've known 3 punk rock hookers in my life. So it exists.
I've known some too, but it's not.
So what's the deal?
It just doesn't seem like it's as
then that
common,
means
and it's like
there's
there's
many
like
more that
for there to be like
aren't
5, 16-year-old.
And if you're
hookers
trying
like
to
that,
trade...
All right, let's move on. Which is opinions. And thank you for your opinion. No, you can't please the punks. I mean, there's 100 people here, and the only people that were like, this isn't real, were the fucking 4 punk rockers.
Fat Mike is also very well known for relating to people in the punk rock scene.
Street punks, homeless, prostitute, drug-addicted street punks that are pretty happy about their situation.
I've never met a homeless person who, if given the choice to have a home after years of trauma, would actively turn down a home. Fat Mike would never, and I mean never, focus exclusively on over-sexualizing anything. It's not like he hyperfixates on porn, or, say, helped create a lesbian porn.
After we'd been going out for a couple years, I go, hey, you want to help me on this thing? Because I can't finish it.
Mike and I wrote a fetish porn together called Rubber Bordello, so we had collaborated together before.
But that's not really why I had issues. I could say it's the overusage and early glorification for cutting, which if a person dips out more than 3/4 of the way through, the message of the character's suicide is to cut yourself. It's not like trashly being a street mom is just a way to glorify paraphilias. It's not like making offensive jokes about fetal alcohol syndrome or in poor taste. I won't be playing the songs on here because I refuse to play trash on my channel. I will, however, put a link in the description if you want your ears to bleed. It's the full musical. It's on Trashly's channel. It was only done a few times, and people criticize it now, but some people were really big fans. There's a reason there's only one variant of it up online. I have a different issue. The character's song, I'm Suicide. Before this song came out, Tony Sly's last words on his last song ever were as follows. After the musical came out, Tony Sly's last words on the last song that would feature him are these. And for this, I've just put the lyrics on the screen, as well as my tweets and messages regarding this on YouTube and on Twitter. So give them a read. It's pretty disturbing.
You do everything that you're told. 6 years of sodomy. You make me so
So what? Tony Sly plays the daughter rapist? It's not like that's a big deal. I put on the screen my favorite story. It's from Tim McIlrath, and a list of all the songs that Tony Sly wrote for his wife and daughters. Tim McIlrath is the lead singer of Rise Against, and specifically talks about how much his children mattered to him, and how Tony's children mattered to Tony. And the biggest thing that he says there is that Tony has never written a song with complex lyrics because he wants it to be easy to understand, and he wants people to never misconstrue his point, which I admire. And it's really adorable to read Tim McIlrath talking about going into the studio and trying to figure out the line, "But I wouldn't give it up for nothing free." That doesn't make sense. For Fiona is about Fiona, but I wouldn't give it up for nothing fee. It's really cute, and overall, I really appreciate it when you get to read the stories behind musicians talking about each other. So Man Whose last song is about how there's always a chant for just that one more song is now forever marred. He's not the one more song guy. His last song is about him being a daughter rapist. He's a daughter rapist now. I think I've clearly and concisely made my points. Fat Mike today is now sober. Years of boasting about how alcoholism and drugs are good for you. Not going to begin to untangle that web. It's all over his older music and his wiki. Tony Sly's death was what made him go sober. The guy he made a daughter rapist. Last thing I'm going to leave you with here. When Bush got into office, Fat Mike spent years mocking him. When Trump got into office, Fat Mike had several panic attacks about how his trans friends were going to be slaughtered. The king of sarcastic punk fell too easily. If you made it to the end of the video, I genuinely appreciate you. I'm not normally going to vent about real life stuff, but I recently just got unemployed again. I got COVID twice, once from my boss and once from a bar, and I have COVID right now. I've had to re-record this a few times. The whole thing I scripted, clipped for, and got everything ready for today to try and post something today, because I really am going to try and post like a daily T-Mill video until I either get a new job or become successful on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure the former is more likely than the latter. There's a donation link, but also there's links to every video, song, article, everything that I use is linked in the description. And if you actually if you timestamp it, I'm small enough where I will see it, but if you timestamp it, I can give you the song, or I can give you the other stuff in the background, and I have no qualms doing that. Some of the people that I use songs of have less subscribers and less views than I do, so I'd really appreciate if you could give them a listen. I don't really know what my near future is going to look like. I'm going to be real with you, but I'm going to keep posting videos and trying to be positive. I'm going to force myself to do this every day. I might not do it daily. I'm going to try as best as I can to make one of these each day. Like I said, until either I get a new job or until T-Mill takes off. Who knows? But I'm very thankful that I got so much feedback on my last video. I'm working out the audio stuff. Please comment below if you liked how I fixed the audio. I'm trying loudness normalization through Audacity and loudness normalization through Sony Vegas. I'm not entirely familiar with how to normalize a Blue Yeti microphone. I'm more familiar with headsets. There's so much background noise, so I'm trying to learn as I go, but I didn't really have the time to spend to learn everything, like I said. This just kind of came abruptly, and I have COVID right now, so trying to speak loudly while wanting to fucking die is not fun. So I appreciate everyone who's made this far. Comment and make sure you let me know your thoughts. I genuinely appreciate everyone, and if you like it, just stick around. I'm not even gonna say subscribe, just stick around, see if I have something else you like. I just appreciate that you took the time at all. Thank you so much, and I'm thankful to be here. Alright, bye-bye.